Well, it's the season of election in Nigeria and the accompanied intrigues and propaganda. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is taking most of the bashing from Nigerians aggrieved with the outcome of the February 25th presidential election. And INEC has denied appointing a former commissioner in Lagos State, Femi Odubiyi, as its head of Information and Communication Technology Department, as alleged by the chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Bode George. Well, dismissing the claim, INEC National Commissioner in charge of Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, said the widely publicized report attributed to Bode George is false, as the name Femi Odubiyi doesn't exist within their ICT department at INEC headquarters in Abuja or any state office of the commission.
Leaders of all major political parties contesting in the 2023 governorship election are represented at the signing of the Peace Accord put together by the Independent National Electoral Commission and the Akwa Ibom Police Command in Uyo. The candidates of the political parties present append their signatures and voice to uphold the agreements reached. The political parties are encouraged to work in the interest of peace.
In Akwa Ibom State, we want to have zero tolerance to thuggery. Those who are planning to foment trouble should repent and don't do that. And if they don't repent, we will deal with them. We will not say because we have elections in a few days' time, we have to create a scenario whereby we will change our narrative. We want to remain the most peaceful.
Apologies for that mix-up there. Well, let's quickly move on to our discussions right here in the studio with Babajide Kolade Otitoju and Tunde Abaton. So let's first off get your reactions to the developments where INEC is denying that it appointed an ex-Lagos commissioner as an ICT head. Babajide, how do you react to this?
Well, I don't know where Baba Bode George got this from. This is someone that I used to respect so much. I remember in the year 2006, Bode George and other Southern leaders had a consultative forum meeting in Enugu, hosted by the then governor, Chimaro Kirinamani. And the speech that Bode George gave on that day was really, really impressive. As someone with an eye for the spoken word, I had so much admiration for him, the way he spoke. But in the last few years, Bode George has been a completely different individual. He's consumed by his hatred for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How many times has he said that he will leave Nigeria if Bola Tinubu wins? But he remains here. That's testament to the fact that Nigeria is such a beautiful place. Some of those who, he's not the only one. I've heard some other people too say, oh, if Bola Tinubu wins this election, we'll quit Nigeria. They have no desire to leave Nigeria. By saying that, they were predicting indirectly that he will not win. By saying that, in their hearts they were convinced that he will not win the election. Not that they have plans to leave Nigeria, because there are still others, like Bode George, who said they will leave Nigeria if he wins. But they are still here. It's not that they are waiting for the court to overturn the victory, because that will not happen. That will not happen. But they felt that he will not win the election, so they can afford to make wild promises. Now the election has been won. Baba Bode George, rather than simply take it as an act of God, is spewing falsehood all over the place. Where will falsehood take us as a nation? Because the Bible is clear that it is it is truth that exalts a nation.
Right.
Now, look at what my elder brother at INEC said. He said the originator of this claim should have been circumspect, that what he did literally will amount to being a purveyor of falsehood. Just call him purveyor of falsehood, because we know that's what you think he is. But he tried to be very polite, and even in saying that, look, when you talk like this, people will see you as a purveyor of falsehood. But falsehood is what it is. INEC does not have anybody by that name in its ICT department.
Yeah.
But if Baba Bode George thinks that indeed someone exists by that name in INEC, then in this season of people asking to be allowed to inspect ballot materials and the rest, he too can ask to be allowed to look at the faces of INEC staff in Abuja. They should line up like a guards parade. Then let him be looking at their faces so that he can tell us that, oh, that former commissioner in Lagos that I'm talking about is indeed a staff of INEC. This is his face. I know him. You know the way police used to parade victims of armed robbery and robbery suspects so that they can identify them. It makes no sense what we are seeing. But this is indeed the season of falsehood. I'm not too surprised, because somebody came the other day and claimed that his party won 19 states. He took Nigeria's first independent fake news killers, in the real sense of the word, Dubawa. They are the first indigenous, they are the first indigenous fact checkers in the country, allied to Premium Times. They came out to say, no, you claim that by judging by what's on INEC's IRF portal that you won 19 states. Dubai said, no, sir, you didn't win 19 states. This is falsehood. This is fake news. It is what it is. So, in the season of falsehood, even people that we believe are rarefied, people that we believe are of the rarefied class, they are contesting against one another to determine who indeed is the greater purveyor of falsehood. It's so sobering that someone will go and face a TV station and tell outright lies. If today this matter becomes a court matter, what will he say?
That's another issue.
You know, even the INEC has warned that, look, some of the rubbish that people are saying about the INEC chairman, that they should be careful, because a lot of them are libelous. Someone apparently crazed even suggested that the INEC chairman should commit suicide. Have we ever reached that point? To commit suicide over what? What's going on?
Let me quickly get the thoughts of Tunde on this matter. Tunde, what legal implications do you think this could turn out, if at all it is being to be pursued by INEC? Do you see anything whatsoever going out of this?
Well, the facts of the matter are so clear in the public domain. And besides being public domain, anybody who is somebody who wants to push out an information, I fail to mention that you can even Google anybody's name inside Google, and you see the background of that particular person, if it's a notable public figure. One will have to say highly placed Lagos chief, and Arole Odua, or what do they call himself, should have taken his time to verify the information, because it's supposed to be respected. It's supposed to be listened to at that particular age. You know what the information you dish out is capable of causing a lot of confusion within the society. And besides that, today is March 15. 15 clear days after the release of the result of the 2023 presidential election. You now wake up one morning to say that somebody in INEC, which is not existent at all, actually does what. It shows that the man actually, because maybe he forgot that today is not March 1, or that he has been rehearsing that thing in his heart. One would have expected him to bring out that information before the release or before even the presidential election result. But now that he is coming out 2 weeks after, I want to assume that he has been on holiday from Nigeria in the last 2 weeks, and it will be better for him to update himself about the information he's pushing out at that particular age. If it had been young people, or probably 20 years, the so-called young people who are moving out, one would have excused them. But at a particular age, when they say that when there's this adage in Yoruba which says that when the head of the child is bent, it is the elder we can call. But elders in Nigeria today, they want to put the house they built on fire.
Everyone trying to incite. He was saying it that we are risking we are endangering the life of our young people. It was very inciting.
It's a very unfortunate
over falsehood.
After 15 days, he reached the result. A baby that has been delivered, can you abort that pregnancy? No. It is not possible to abort that pregnancy. One would have expected him to make such an allegation, if he's so sure of the allegation, not an afterthought when the baby has been delivered. It is unfortunate. Legally, anybody can, any ordinary Nigerian can take him to court, and he will have nothing to defend himself because he can be charged for an act likely to cause a disturbance of public peace. No, it's unfortunate.
Right, indeed. No, but Babajide, we've pointed out quite salient issues here, knowing that Bode George is a well-revered statesman in the country. But let's look at it, for instance. Now, do you see this denial by INEC on the allegations could impact, to an extent, a public trust in the electoral laws or the electoral process in the country? And what steps do you think can be taken to kind of restore that trust, if at all? Because this could be another position here.
Well, the eyes believe what they want to believe.
Right.
There are some Nigerians, there's nothing you can do. They are not even interested in the healthy arguments. They've taken a position, and no matter how you argue, no matter how you try to say, look, let's look at this, they are not interested. They are fixated already. It's one-track reasoning, one track, just reasoning in one way. That is the way some Nigerians, and on this issue, even when we were talking about Emefiele's apparent failure that is as apparent as daylight, we still had Nigerians who were supporting him and standing by him.
Even just suggesting
some of them will blow kisses at him. And you can see people dying. You can see houses being destroyed.
Right.
So are those the kind of people that you want to explain certain things to, that they will obey? I mean, that they will listen? No. People are motivated to take position by all kinds of things. Some for pecuniary gains. A lot of the people out there who behave like they are patriots. Because when Baba Bode George was oozing these lies, he was speaking like a patriot. But it turned out that it was just empty gas at the end of the day, absolute falsehood. Look, he said, let me, because I transcribe what he was, he said, his name is Femi Odubiyi. He is the man in charge of the IT of INEC. How did he become a commissioner in Lagos? Who put him there? And then who put him in the INEC? The chairman of INEC came up and said there were glitches. So he said it was laughable that there were glitches, as if we've not seen even in America this sort of thing happening. He said, who is the man in charge of IT? We are toying with the future of our own children. In the military, who will have been executed. How many army officers of his own generation were executed in the military even for little mistakes? How many? We are students of history. He is very conversant with Nigerian history. How many times were soldiers simply executed because they made some mistakes? Infractions, computer-related infractions in the military. Is human life that cheap in the military? Certainly not Nigerian military. Certainly not. If it was that bad, would he have been able to stay there for the length of time that he was there? What is he telling us? That there were glitches because it was reported that there were glitches, then that person will be tied to the stakes and shot. The only time they tie people to stakes in the military is when they plan coup. And how many times, and the coup fails. Or during the Civil War, you know, people were executed during the Civil War. Banjo and the rest of them. It's not that cheap to execute military officers in our country. We know a bit of history.
The last time that was done was 1990 during the Oka coup. That was 33 years ago.
Yes, and he's talking about as if any little mistake in the military, 3 years people ago, get executed. Stop rewriting history.
Chief Bode George has retired from the military.
Let's move on to our next discussion.
How can I be saying that kind of thing?
He knows what he's trying to mislead people.